So, for you viewers that know me, you know I'm a big proponent of just wrapping the seam bonded method because it's very safe, very simple and straightforward, and at least my ears aren't sensitive enough to tell a difference between wrapping it like that or doing the quote-unquote proper wrapping with full adhesion across everything. Anyway, in this video I'm going to show you a really safe way of doing the full adhesion. And I say safe because the one risk with the full adhesion is because you're using contact cement. Contact cement isn't called contact cement for a reason. When those surfaces make contact, that's a point of no return. So if you didn't align it perfectly straight before you make contact, that's it. It's not going to get straight. You have to tear it off, which means you might destroy the shell, you might destroy the wrap, or either way it's going to be extremely inconvenient, if not a small disaster. So I'm going to show you a very safe way of wrapping, fully adhering the wrap to the shell using contact cement. And to start out, when I do that, well, first, of course, as usual, I'm going to figure out where the seam is going to be. And in this case, this tom is going to sit something like this, which means I probably want the seam over here. So I'm going to put the seam right here. Now, this might look like, hey, what are you doing, man? I thought you were going to do it with contact cement, the full adhesion method. Don't worry, I am. But I play it very safe when I do that. So first, we're going to line up the wrap and clamp it in place. Just the way I do when I wrap with the seam bonded method. Exactly the same way. So of course, before I do this, I've gone ahead and trimmed the wrap, both the height of it and the length of it, so that we have about a ½ inch of overlap, and we've got about a ¼ inch of cut back on each side. So all I'm doing right now is aligning the wrap. And the other thing you want to go ahead and do before you wrap is to give the back side of the wrap, I don't think this is really necessary, but it can't hurt. I mean, we're going for a permanent installation here, so why not do it right the first time? Give the back side of the wrap a quick abrasion with some sandpaper. Doesn't really matter what grit, maybe, I don't know, 200, 150, 100, doesn't really matter. We just want to sort of scuff up the backside a little bit to give it a better adhesion. And you can do the same on the shell too. I'm not doing it on the shell in this case because since we sealed this shell with enamel, enamel is a wonderful primer for contact cement or just about anything else. So now that we know the wrap is already properly aligned and ready to go like this, this wrap is called Wallopus Monte Carlo Walnut, and I think it's absolutely fabulous. So here's another new thing in this episode. Before, I've made some videos showing how to install our drum wrap, like I said, with the seam bonded method, and I've always used the flexible variety of our wrap. So today I'm using the traditional, little bit stiffer variety of our wrap for no other reason than to show some different varieties while I'm at it making this video anyway. So now I've got it aligned. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move these two clamps down to here. These are the two clamps in the beginning of our job. And I'm going to take the two clamps at the end of our job and move them down to here. And then I'm going to allow this to fold out like that. Once we've folded that out, we can go ahead and brush on contact cement. Any crappy old brush will do. Or if you use spray on, then that's fine too, or whatever contact cement you're using. One nice thing about our drum wrap, Wallopus drum wrap, you don't have to use the water-based contact cement. You can use any contact cement with our wrap. It does not matter. So we're going to go ahead and just brush it onto the leading edge of the wrap like that, and on the corresponding I'm going to actually mark where I am on the shell by doing that, and then let it fall off. And we're going to brush a nice thin coat on the corresponding section of the drum shell. And then, depending on your contact cement, follow the instructions on your particular contact cement. This one says about 20 minutes. We're going to let it dry for about 20 minutes. So this dab of contact cement is just about dried, which means we're ready to adhere the first part. So you're probably getting what I mean by the safe way now, that I've already aligned everything. We're not taking any risk of adhering the contact cement to itself with the wrap out of alignment. So that is the whole meaning when I say the safe way, then that's what I mean by the safe way. So I like to do this actually. I like to put it down like that and push down on the inside of the drum shell and sort of roll that wrap on really nice and tight onto the shell. Something like that. Not bad. And then we're going to move these clamps up. They are now just going to aid in keeping this position while that contact cement cures. You know how contact cement grabs right away? And it does. It grabs really, really solidly with very little time. Just by touching itself, bam, it grabs. But it actually, little known fact, maybe boring fact, little known fact, it takes many hours before it cures. Just because it's grabbed doesn't mean that it's cured, but that's, you know, just a little bit of trivia. So with that done, we're just going to go ahead and brush on the contact cement on the rest of the wrap. Alright, so the contact cement has dried enough that we can go ahead and make contact. So just like before, I like to sort of roll the shell fairly hard down onto the wrap like this. I just push down like this while I go. And what I forgot to mention is when you're brushing on the contact cement on the wrap and the shell, you also need to put a little dab right here on the outside of the leading edge on the wrap, so that the trailing edge has something to, well, my fingers are getting very, very sticky from contact cement. That happens. I might not have waited quite long enough because I don't think it's supposed to stick to your fingers, but I'm sure it's fine. And when we get around, we can remove these two clamps. They're going to get in the way. And I'm just going to keep pushing down on the inside of the shell like this, like that. And there we have it. All wrapped up, all safe, perfectly aligned. All right, next.